welcome to CityLine. It is great to be in your home. We have a lovely hour ahead of us. Later on, we'll be talking with Claire Petrich. She is here to talk about Tacoma Sister Cities and the only way that Claire Petrich can. And then we'll have the Central Neighborhood Council. Alex and Tessa will be here to talk about one of the projects that they have going on. And then also Charlie Davis is back. And if you don't know Charlie Davis, well, I think we all need a shot of Charlie Davis every single morning. He is the president and CEO of the YMCA of Pierce County and Kitsap County. And with me now is somebody who, if you saw in the wide shot, you probably thought, wait a minute, I know that person, but I don't know that person, but I don't know where I know that person. And that leads me to tell you I am so thrilled to have her on the comfy couch. We are talking about Doris Sorum. You are the city clerk for the city of Tacoma. Welcome to CityLine.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my God, it is so great to have you. Last year we were virtual when we had a chance to interview you, and I think that it was a day that I was not in town and I was so bummed. But now I get to have you back on the couch. You're always sitting behind that desk every Tuesday, and I often think, I want to get to know this woman. I've been watching city council meetings for 4 years now. And this is the first time I've got to say, hey, Doris. Hey, Doris.
Hey.
So let's talk about this for a second.
Okay.
How long have you been with the city?
So I just completed my 43rd year working for the city of Tacoma.
What was your first position?
My first position was in the finance department. I processed utility bills and I did the outgoing mail.
Oh my God. Okay. And how long were you in that position?
So for 5 years.
Okay.
And then I transferred up to the city clerk's office where I've been ever since.
So, oh my gosh. So I jokingly said when you first came into the building, I said, this is the woman who takes care of our council members, of our mayor, so many things. And I know that what we see on television on Tuesday night at 5 o'clock, roll call, pledge allegiance, everybody is there. That is a tip of the iceberg of what we see that really happens in your job. Speaking of your job, if you had to pick one thing that is your favorite part after 43 years, what would it be?
The variety.
Oh my gosh.
I love the variety of my job. Look, I was born and raised in the city of Tacoma. I knew I wanted to be a public servant when I volunteered in the police department as a senior in high school. So, and again, I began in the finance department and then was appointed to the city clerk's position.
I love that.
So I love working with the residents of the city of Tacoma. I love working with the elected people.
Yep.
I love working with the employees of the city of Tacoma, and I just love being part of our city's growth.
Yeah.
Even in just the very small part that I play. But.
And the amount of time that you have been in your role, you have seen, oh my God, I have this picture of a merry-go-round in my head in terms of the changes that you have seen in our city. Tell me, what exactly does the city clerk do, and how does it fit into all that change after 43 years?
Well, the city clerk's position, again, is appointed by the city manager.
So who appointed you at the time?
Ray Corpus, city manager Ray
Corpus. For those
Corpus.
of you who don't know who Ray Corpus is, my answer is look it up.
Yeah, yeah. So back in 2000, he appointed me city clerk. The city clerk's office has 5 really amazing and dedicated full-time employees. And we take care of the official records to make sure that anybody who is doing any kind of research, they can find what they're looking for.
So it's more than what we see when we're tuning in or we're sitting in the audience every Tuesday.
It is. So when we're part of the city attorney's office. So I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, and we staff not only the council meetings, we prepare agendas, we proof minutes, we record the meetings, we update the website with all the information that the public needs, and we keep all of it as permanent records. So just so that you know, this is what the meetings that we support. Community Vitality and Safety Committee.
Huge committee, huge committee.
Yep. Economic Development Committee.
Another huge committee.
Infrastructure Planning and Sustainability Committee.
That's huge.
Government Performance. Committee of the Whole. Study sessions.
Study sessions.
And then the council meetings and workshops. So
Oh my gosh.
we are there every time the council meets. Someone from our department is there.
Okay, so let's do a little popcorn. This is
Okay.
kind of like we're on a game show right now. So if I ask you, I hear you mention resolutions. Tell us, what is a resolution?
So generally speaking, a resolution is something that the council uses to execute an agreement.
Okay.
It's they when they want to use their council contingency funds to support a program, they create a resolution for that. To fill a position, a council position, an unexpired term, which we just did last Tuesday.
Olgie!
Yep, Olgie was appointed by resolution.
Our first Latinx ever council member, let's just say that. She'll be on that couch soon.
Yeah, and then if we appoint people to a committee, board, or commission, we use a resolution to do that as well.
Okay, so you got 100% on that quiz. Now, here's the next one for extra credit. What is an ordinance?
So an ordinance, it carries a little bit heavier weight. It's how we create local laws. So it regulates activities. They can make changes to the zoning code. It can develop regulations. So here's one that they did recently. An ordinance can change a speed limit. So
Yes.
yes. So done in our four neighborhood business districts. So 6th Ave, Lincoln, McKinley Hill, and Old Town. We just changed their speed limits. We lowered that speed limits to hopefully
Keep us safe.
keep us safe.
Keep us
Yeah.
safe while we are in the year of healing, as
Yep.
Mayor Woodard says, and we also are an anti-racist city
Yeah.
and anti-violence. So
Yeah.
that speed limit ties right in. One of the things that I've noticed during the council dialogue is that when you say it's a final reading, nobody talks. Why is that?
So typically, under final reading of ordinances, you've got to remember now the council's already done a lot of work before it gets to final reading of ordinances. They've had a first reading. Under the first reading, they've had a staff presentation. They were allowed to answer all their questions. And so by the time it gets to a final reading, most of their questions have been answered. But there can be dialogue in between a first reading and a final reading. Let's say a constituent contacts their council member and says, what about this? What about this? During the final reading, the council member can ask that question, or if there's any changes to the final reading of the ordinance. So it's not that there's not always a dialogue. There certainly can be, but for the most part, the work's been done by that point.
That totally makes sense. And then I
Yeah.
have one more question for the
Okay.
win. You just said something just now that kind of triggered me. What is a constituent?
Residents of the city of Tacoma.
You and I, yes,
I.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because I know that sometimes we get these big, what I call $1,000,000 words when it comes to government, you know, bipartisan, da, 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 da. And I just think constituent, it means it's the citizens, because we are the ones that our council members take we are one of the areas they take direction from. Okay, so I've also noticed that when a vote is taken by the council, Doris, you take a roll call, and other times when the council answers aye or nay, how is it decided what type of vote will be taken?
So most resolutions,
Right.
most resolutions and most motions, right?
Right.
Are taken by what we call the voice vote. That's your ayes and nays.
Right.
So, but ordinances are always a roll call vote. They carry a little bit heavier weight. People want to know where the council stands on ordinances, so it's a little bit more of a direct vote.
Yeah, if you're like me, I have boxes. I'm going, okay, Ushka, she said yes. Why was it, and that's me. So sometimes the mayor is unable to attend. And who fills in and who leads the meeting? Does it rotate, or is there a set Robert rules of when the mayor is at a national convention, this person runs the meeting.
So we have a deputy mayor.
We do.
Yep, and the deputy mayor is elected by her council members on the first meeting of the year. Typically, the deputy mayor serves a one-year term, and if the deputy mayor and the mayor are out, then the council elects a presiding officer to run the meeting, and so until the deputy mayor or the mayor can get back. So
Okay.
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So as we back up bigger and we kind of look at, okay, that's day-to-day running of the city, which is a huge job. Then we throw in municipal elections. So what is the clerk's office role in that, if you have a role in it?
So we used to have a role,
Okay.
but now the Pierce County Auditor's Office does all of our municipal.
Julie Anderson.
Julie
and her
Anderson.
great team.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, so you used to have a role in that. My goodness, because when I just got done watching the appointment of Olgie Diaz, and I watched all the way through the 7, and then I watched Tuesday night, Councilmember Rumbaugh up there virtually, people talking about and thanking, and it was a real education in addition to being very entertaining and also nail biting. Do you know how the votes are going to go before you sit down?
Absolutely
So
not.
you don't know either.
Absolutely not. No.
How do you remain so cool and calm? Years of practice.
Years of practice.
Absolutely. What is the one thing in this last 10 seconds that people would be surprised about your job?
But probably the hours that we put in.
How many hours do you put in?
We put in probably 12-hour days, probably 3 or 4 times a week.
You know, you said when we started this conversation that you had always known by growing up in Tacoma and living here all your life that you wanted to be a public servant. And I couldn't think of a better answer than that, because I know that you don't clock in and clock out. You wake up thinking about our city, you drive by a garbage can, you think something different than I think. And for this many years, for us to have kept all of your goodness and intelligence in that department, we've got to be doing something right. Will you promise me something? Will you come back in 6 months and talk with me again?
I will.
All right.
I will.
Thank you so much for all that you do, my dear, and all of your team members who we couldn't fit on the couch.
I'd love to fit them on the couch.
Next time we will.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. We have much more to come on CityLine. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this quick break.